If you feel addicted to sugar, you're gonna want to keep listening. This is going to be a huge aha moment, guys. Here on the Peaceful Plate podcast, I want to talk about why sugar can feel addictive, even though it's not truly addictive. Sugar is not, we can't compare sugar to cocaine. All right. I see that on social media. I see people comparing sugar to cocaine. And actually, I've seen a post saying that sugar is more addictive than cocaine, which is a crock of shit, guys. Here's the truth. We can feel addicted to sugar. And I don't want to dismiss that. If that is your experience, I do not want to dismiss that. I want to acknowledge that that is how you're feeling. And I want to provide you with the tools so you can find freedom from that. But I also want to be very clear that sugar, we cannot be chemically addicted to sugar the way that we can be to drugs. And that is an important distinction to make, because if we do not make that distinction, we actually fuel the feelings, the addictive feelings towards sugar, because a big part of having sugar not feel addictive is making it emotionally neutral. Now, emotionally neutral it's not like a free pass to go eat sugar all day, every day, 24/7. We're not going to feel good if we do that. Emotional neutrality means we no longer give sugar power. We no longer demonize it. We no longer place it on a pedestal. Fear mongering does all of those things. Fear mongering posts like the ones I just mentioned, comparing sugar to cocaine, that's a form of fear mongering. And what happens with that is it actually places sugar up on a pedestal, because in our mind, what happens, we start to see sugar as bad. We start to see ourselves as bad if we eat sugar. It gives sugar this emotional charge. And that's one of the reasons that sugar can feel addictive. And so let's get into this. I really want to empower you and encourage you. So if you're feeling addicted to sugar, I hear you. And I do not want to dismiss how you're feeling, but I do want to give you the tools so you can actually find freedom. So the first thing is we really want to try to make sugar emotionally neutral. This does take time. All right, it does take time, guys. It's a process of creating new neural pathways, rewiring the way that we think about sugar. It takes time, but it is very possible. Actually, it's 100% possible. I do this with clients all the time. And so we want to make peace with sugar. We want to allow sugar in our lives mindfully and with intention. This is not saying that we're going to just like buy tons of sugar and just eat it all day and like numb out on it. That is not what I'm saying. We eat it with intention. Like if there's a cute cafe and you always see this just really yummy looking cupcake or this yummy looking like chocolate croissant, I don't know, in there. You give yourself permission to have it and you enjoy it mindfully. There's a few things that I would do in here. I'm not going to teach on all of it today, but to set yourself up for success, I will say you don't want to go into that cafe ravenous. You want to make sure that you're moderately hungry, not overly hungry, right? So that you can sit down, you can really be attuned to your body and you can really nourish yourself and enjoy that food and enjoy that sweetness on your plate. And we do this inside Nourish Beyond the Plate. I teach step by step how to do this in a way that it doesn't feel scary, in a way in which we don't feel like we're losing control, in a way that we really have a structure to make sugar or any food emotionally neutral so that we're taking it off that pedestal and so that it's no longer holding power over us. That is really foundational to having sugar or any food not feel addictive. So that's the first thing I wanted to share with you. The second thing I want to share with you is the importance of off the plate nourishment. And I want to talk just a moment about dopamine. I'm sure that you've heard of dopamine before. When we eat sugar, we do get a very natural dopamine boost. This is at a natural, healthy level. With drugs, we get a dopamine surge at a very unhealthy, not natural, not normal level. It's very intense. Those are two different things. The natural dopamine boost at the healthy level that we get from sugar, that's the same level of dopamine boost that we'd get from things like being out in nature, deep belly laughs, good sex, spending time with somebody we really care about. We get that natural, healthy release of dopamine from sugar and those off the plate things. Very different from drugs. When we do drugs, that's going to give us that unnatural, unhealthy, very extreme high level of dopamine that's going to cause a whole cascade of things to happen, which I'm not getting into all of that today. But I wanted to share with you, yes, we have that dopamine release, which can have a little bit of a little numbing effect, a little, that feels good. Nothing like drugs, right? Very different from the numbing we get from drugs. So, but that little, that felt good, that's going to happen with the other things that I said, right? The play, the off the plate nourishment, spending time with people we care about, deep belly laughs. We also get that little, like that little softness, that little that felt good. The sweetness of life is what I like to call it. Really important, both on our plate and off the plate. And so what happens though, if we do not have nourishment off the plate, we do not have other ways to get that natural, healthy dopamine release, and eating sugar or any food really becomes our only way to get that food, sugar, whatever it is going to feel addictive because our nervous system and our body is looking for that natural, healthy release of dopamine. And if we're not getting rest, we're not giving ourselves permission to rest. We're not giving ourselves permission to play. We're not giving ourselves permission to nourish ourselves off the plate consistently, not just like once a week, right? But every day getting ways to nourish ourselves off the plate to get that healthy dopamine release. If we are not getting that, again, the pull is going to feel very strong for the sugar or any food because our nervous system and body wants that dopamine release in that healthy, natural way. And so that's another reason sugar can feel addictive without actually truly being so in the way that a drug is. So inside Nourished Beyond the Plate, I mean, that's the title of my membership, guys, Nourished Beyond the Plate. Oh, doors are going to open in May. And that is so foundational. We talk about that. I talk about that in almost every lesson, the importance of nourishing ourselves off our plate, how to really understand our unique nourishment style. What is it that we really need? What lights you up? What helps you feel really good? And so we get into all that in my membership. And then the third reason that sugar can feel addictive without actually being so is if our nervous system is dysregulated and we do not have the resources, tools, practices to find the regulation that we need, and sugar or any food has become our go-to, our nervous system is going to use that sugar, that food to try to regulate, even though that is actually not going to really address the root of what's going on. That's not actually going to give us the regulation that we truly need. That is going to be our go-to. Our nervous system is going to try that because that's what's available. And so we need to learn how to regulate our nervous system. We need the tools, we need the practices, we need to allow our nervous system to get familiar with them. Inside Nourish Beyond the Plate, I tell my members, I say, hey guys, and I do this for myself. I don't want to make it sound like I don't do this for myself. I tell the members and I tell myself this. We always want to make sure we have 1, 2, 3 tools, nervous system regulation practices that we're practicing consistently, that we feel really comfortable doing, that our nervous system has gotten really used to, that we can basically pull out pretty easily. So when the urge to use sugar or any food to numb comes on, or when we feel that really strong pull, we're like, hey, I'm going to do bees breath. I'm going to do a few rounds of bees breath. I'm going to notice where I feel it. I'm going to feel vibration in my head, in my throat, in my upper chest, and I'm going to take time to be with that. Or I'm going to do some 5-5-8 breathing, or I'm going to do, something else. But we have these resources available. And I create something in my membership called yoga snacks. So I have full yoga therapy lessons, but I also create yoga snacks because the yoga snacks, they're short, they're sweet, they're digestible. You can learn that tool very quickly. And so you basically tuck it into your back pocket, so to speak. And then when you feel that urge to numb with sugar or food, or just we use this in all situations, not just with food though, but you can just pull that out. You know how to use it. You feel really confident in it, and you have that true nervous system regulation practice. And so those right there, those are 3 of the reasons why we can feel addicted to sugar. And those are the solutions to help you not feel addicted to sugar. Because the truth is, if you do these 3 things that I just talked about, okay, if you make sugar emotionally neutral, you bring it off the pedestal. If you nourish yourself off your plate, you find other ways to get that natural, healthy dopamine release, and you really take time to figure out what helps you feel alive, what helps you feel really happy and rested and well. And then if you lastly do your nervous system regulation practices consistently, stimulate your vagus nerve consistently, help your nervous system to get into that ventral vagal regulated state consistently, so you know how to do it when the urgency arises, when you're feeling the craving come on, when you're feeling the pull come on. You're like, man, I got that practice, I'm gonna do it. If you do those three things, I guarantee you will not feel addicted to sugar or any food. Those practices are that powerful. If you want help with them, if you want to learn more about my membership, Nourished Beyond the Plate, again, the doors are going to open in May, my birthday week, the week of May 19th. Doors will be opened for 1 week and then they'll close, and I'll work closely alongside the members inside the membership. So I close the doors and I open them so I can just be really present with each person in it. So if that interests you, definitely check out the show notes. I'll put some information. I'll put a link to the membership page so you can go and take a peek at it. And yeah, so I hope that you were able to take a nugget from this episode today. I truly hope it was helpful for you. And also, if you ever have any questions about anything that I teach or share, feel free to email me at Eileen@foodfreedomyogi.com. And I look forward to seeing you next week.